it's a recurring meeting, it shouldn't have changed.
Yeah.
Enter your participant ID. You are in the meeting now. There are 6 participants.
Is that right?
Hadn't come up on mine yet. There it is.
Mayor, we're ready.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
We all mute our phones so we don't have any interruptions.
Yes, sir.
Everybody's present. I need a motion to adopt the amended agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comments, I didn't see any. Anybody? Clerk, any public comments?
There are none, Mayor.
Okay.
I don't have microphone, sorry. We just share the microphone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, you need a motion for consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. New business?
Mayor, new business. This is really good new business. The purpose of this presentation today is to acknowledge the donations to the Beech Mountain Fire Department, the Beech Mountain Police Department, and the Avery County Humane Society from the Reuben and Barbara Meridian Estate. And I'd like to introduce Attorney DeSanti, who represents the Meridian Estate, and turn it over to him.
Thank you. You want to go up? Yeah. Great, thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here today with you for, I know it's a solemn but occasion that Ruth and Barbara would be pleased to have funded with through their last will and testament. Barbara and Ruth, I got to know well about 46 years ago when I began the practice of law in Boone. And the reason being, one of the attorneys I went with represented the predecessor to the town of Beech Mountain, the Beech Mountain Property Owners Association. And he passed that client on to me, and I spent a lot of time here at Beech Mountain. Barbara, I think, was the first clerk for the town of Beech Mountain. And Ruth was the fire chief at the time. And I got to know them pretty well because Ruth was retired military, and I too was retired military. Mine not so much from my age, but I was in Vietnam. A lot of the times that Ruth was there, and I got wounded there, but still, I got retired from it. And we became friends with that. And back in the early 70s, the town of Beech Mountain was almost like a retirement area for Fort Bragg. General Westmoreland, General Tolson, who was the commander, Jim Brooks knows, could probably name all of them, but I felt like this was like Fort Bragg little coming up here and getting to know people. About a year or so ago, a little over a year ago, Barbara called me when she was in the hospital, the medical center, and explained that she had left everything to Ruth, but Ruth had predeceased her, and she wanted to do a new will. And I met with her, and she was very adamant that she wanted her estate to go to the Beech Mountain Fire Department, the Beech Mountain Police Department, and the Avery County Humane Society. So over the last year, I've been working to locate the assets for Barbara and what they had, and quite frankly, I was surprised at the estate that she left for the benefit of these three charities. Today, I'm pleased to give out $1 million, $400,000 $100,000 to the Beach Mountain Fire Department, $300,000 to the, I have to make the check handler count of Beach Mountain, but I want to assure you that Barbara insists it goes to the Beach Mountain Fire Department and Police Department chiefs, and also the Asia County Humane Society. So if I may, I'll present this to Ms. Dyer first, since I'm the only Southern guy I've been waiting so long to keep going.
Thank you very much.
It's the town of Beach Mountain, or the Beach Mountain Police Department. I'm going to give it to the chief, but I guess it's just a second to bring it out for you to get this.
Sure you would. Sure you would. Thank you.
And Chief Fundy, Beach Mountain.
Thank you, that. Jim Brooks, he's our president of the
What? I'll be happy to do that.
association. Thank you.
Let me close by saying that this is not the end. I met with the accountant with whom I'm working with, and we have to file the taxes for this year. We will get that done soon. We still estimate that, assuming there's no significant tax liability, and I do not believe there's going to be, I will still have about $250,000 to distribute, which means another $100,000 to the fire department and $75,000 to the Humane Society and individuals. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We certainly appreciate it. Wish we could tell the family, but unfortunately they moved on, but I think it'll be a great asset for everybody. I'm sure the Humane Society could use it to good use. I know our police department can, and certainly the fire department, so thank you very much on behalf of them.
If I may intercede, I need to get these just signed, if I may, if I can get the county.
Thank you. Mayor, while they're doing the paperwork, I'd just like to say from a fire department perspective that Rube was our fire chief, and he had a great deal of direction and a hand of where we are today. The fire department would not be what it is today without Rube Radian. He had retired when I reached my position here with the town, but everything that I touched in the fire department had Rube's fingerprints on it. He did a fantastic job for our fire department. The dollars that the fire department has received, the board of directors is going to meet tomorrow, and they're going to set up a system where the money can't be spent willy-nilly. It's going to have some policies, which I don't know what they are exactly, but it will be something that will use for the perpetual use of the department to improve its service delivery to the community and make it so that it doesn't just get frittered away. So we're from the fire department, we're extremely blessed that Rube not only gave his time, but that he and his wife Barbara gave their estate a portion of it to the fire department. So we're very, very pleased and blessed, and we thank him and Barbara for that.
Chief, did he have experience in the fire industry when he took the job?
Jim?
Or was he administrative and just knew how to make the program what it is today?
Well, he was a lieutenant colonel in special forces, so he had a management background from that.
Accounting, too.
Huh?
Accounting.
Well, he got his master's in business after he retired. He got his college education. He started as an enlisted person and rose all the way up to an officer. And got his college education through the Army, and then when he retired, he got an MBA. And none of us knew anything about fire service. We went to a cocktail party, right? And then they asked us to join a fire department. That sounds like fun. We took a 42-hour training class, and we were in, right? Riley was here. He was.
I had Shirley Temples.
I was gonna say, 42 hours, your liver was inebriated, or pickled one.
Well, Riley's dad would drive the truck because he was too young, but he couldn't run it, and Riley could. So,
Very good.
and no, Rube went to the fire department instructors conference probably, I don't know, probably 12 years in a row. I mean, he got into it. He studied it. He was very well read. And a little short guy, but you didn't give him any crap. He'd bite the end off that cigar and go after you.
Can I just say, what an unbelievable testimony and legacy that speaks so well of that family and how much they loved Beach Mountain. But that just says so much about the kind of people that they were and what they've done. It's.
They were quiet. They didn't make a lot of noise. They participated in everything that happened up here, but they were a real tight couple, and they met in Paris.
Wow.
And Rube got her a job in Germany with his unit. He got transferred to Vietnam. He moved her to Thailand. They got married, and this was their home. She was originally from Miami. He was from Rhode Island.
Wow.
And this was their deal.
What a legacy.
Yeah.
Special people.
Very, very special.
Any other comments? All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Chief, you want to make a comment?
All right, town manager staff reports. 8.1 is your financials for this, for January. You've got any questions on that? We're in line with the consent agenda today. You did some budget amendments that closed out the side path, the Greenway, and as well as the fire at Buckeye.
Correct.
So the departments, other than the fire department, that are over budget, over their benchmark, they'll come in line as we've explained last month. So with that, we'll go into my report.
Can I just ask one
Yes.
quick question on it?
Sure.
On page 61 of 95,
Yes,
under
ma'am.
sewer,
Yes, ma'am.
the two numbers look kind of odd to me.
Which one?
294, 452, and then 30,000, 810, 19. So if you go down under expenditures,
Year-to-date
under
expenditures,
current
right?
budget, it's 294,000,
Yes.
and then current period is 30,000.
Those are the expenditures in January
Okay,
of 2021 for the month. So our current budget, it never changes. We're at 294, 452.
Okay.
We spent 30,000, 810, 19 in the month of January,
okay, great.
which gives us a year-to-date of 214, 317.
Perfect.
Is that better explained?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Mayor and council on the manager's report, update on COVID-19. The two counties are now vaccinating groups 1 through 3. And those are people over 65. Those are people that may be healthcare workers and now essential employees. We've sent our list to both counties, and we're working the system so that we can get people in as rapidly as possible. So we've got people getting inoculated this week, next week, and we're sending the information out to our employees. The fire department is almost 100% covered now, and as we go through this essential employee, which includes elected officials, we'll have a fairly good number of our employees vaccinated here over the next 28 days.
Has the governor changed any rules lately?
He did. He changed the indoor meeting criteria to 25. You must have social distancing of 6 feet. You must have a mask. He increased the inside capacity up to 50% of a lot of businesses. The important one is Buckeye Rec Center is now at 50% capacity. Still requires masks and social distancing. He changed the curfew, actually did away with it, and changed the sale of alcohol an hour later into the evening. Those were the major changes that affect the town.
Have any of the other counties and municipalities about having residents in the audience for their meetings?
I only can speak to Watauga and Avery, they're still remote. The difficulty is, we could have 25 people, but we have to have 6 feet of distance. And what you see with 10 or 12, I've got 6 feet of distance, so until we can expand that number or reduce the social distancing, we're stuck. Both Watauga and Avery counties are remote, and as well as the towns in Watauga, they're continuing through.
Okay.
If we had a bigger venue, we could host bigger meetings.
Okay, thank you.
Town signs. The TDA has graciously funded 2 town signs we talked about for quite a period of time. One is going to go at the intersection of US 321 and Buckeye Road. One is going at the intersection of Buckeye Road and Buckeye Creek Road. And there'll be directional signs for the town of Beech Mountain. And John Merritt designed those. And we took it to the TDA and they funded those at 100%. So we're really appreciative. And you'll see those going up very soon. The sign looks very similar to the one out front. Different dimensions, and it's got a directional arrow. So you'll see
Has
that.
everybody seen this thing?
I have not,
I can get you drawings of that for sure.
but it's large enough to be noticeable.
Yes.
What we currently have is small.
Right.
We've got a Buckeye Rec Center sign that goes, this is a posted stone columns. It's very
Okay,
nice.
perfect.
I'll get that to you. Solid waste update. Last week, we had our solid waste special meeting, and you asked that we survey the commercial accounts that currently have dumpsters. We reached out to 10, well, actually, we got 10 responses back. Kate and I sort of split up the duties on that. So I want to give you a survey of what they said. None of the 10 wanted to pay the monthly fee for the town service. And let me back up a little bit. What we asked them was, would they prefer that we contract with Republic Services at approximately $175 per month per 8-yard container with once-a-week pickup? Or the same 8-yard container, once-a-week pickup, the town could do it for $448 a month. Not one business said they wanted the town to do it, obviously, due to the cost. 2 of the businesses currently use Republic. One reported great service, is what he said. The other said that it was good, but they had missed pickups, particularly during poor weather. A third business reported that they manage a complex that has Republic services, and they gave it a 90% service with missed pickups. Several of the businesses that we talked to also said that the town had missed pickups with the dumpsters over the past year, and they wanted to make sure that was noted. Most said that one pickup per week is not enough. Particularly in the busier times when the businesses are operating, and they needed flexibility to have additional cans or additional dumpsters, additional pickups, and flexibility would be the issue there. One business stated they don't want dumpsters at any price. Not a lot. 50% said space was a concern for dumpsters, finding the space and the access. One suggested that we have multiple remote compactor sites throughout the town. And some of the businesses choose to take their trash directly to the convenience center as opposed to having dumpsters at their business. So all in all, I think the suggestion that we reach out to them was a good one. We got a chance in a short period of time, we had a week to do it, to speak to them and try and get some input. So what I take it from that is we're proceeding, as we discussed last week, with budgeting as directed. We're proposing a change to the solid waste ordinance that will require the single-family short-term rentals to have bear-proof bins, as we talked about. And we're asking Republic to give us a definite proposed contract that we can start negotiating on for services. Some of the issues that I think we're interested in, and I did reach out to other towns that use Republic, is having the missed pickup, having a monetary, I'll call it a penalty, I call it a fine, a monetary penalty for missing a pickup by the contractor, and building in some measurable service benchmarks into the contract. For everyone that we do that, it will probably raise the price, is why we, if you recall, last week, I told you Republic said they were at about $155 a month. When we went out to the businesses, I didn't want to use that number, so I bumped it up to 175, so that we didn't under-promise and then we couldn't deliver. So we got a little bit of cushion to do that.
Chief, I got a question. You mentioned that there would be one pickup with one can, but they do offer the flexibility of one pickup with multiple cans,
Well,
correct?
yes. What we were doing with the survey was having apples to apples. We couldn't say that town would do this and Republic would do that. So we based it on one can, one per week, on a monthly basis. Either model would allow multiple cans and multiple pickups. It's simply how we in this case, what I'm recommending, how we negotiate the contract. So a business could have multiple cans, that multiplier per month, or less cans, more pickups. There's plenty of flexibility to build into that.
And I don't know if this is the appropriate time to ask the question, but you mentioned the bear-proof bins, and I know that we've discussed this in the past. At some of the town facilities, at some of the parks, we do have bear-resistant bins. Will we have bear-resistant bins at all of our parks?
I think we do.
Yeah, I think we do too.
I don't know, right off the top of my head, I can't think of one that we don't, but if we don't, we will.
Okay.
We're not going to require the public to do something we're not willing to do. So that, I mean, that's, I don't know of a town trash bin that's not bear resistant, but if there is, I'll have Sean tell me about it, we'll fix that.
Okay.
After we roll out that ordinance, how are we going to inform the public beyond fines on changing out to bear-proof bins for those types of residents or rentals?
Well, the town attorney and I are working on that ordinance change as it is, in a similar town, one mountain over. They set a date in the future for it to occur. It happened to be December 31st, 2020. We could do that. Obviously, getting the message out is going to be extremely important. I learned that lesson with trash passes at the convenience center. So until we have that proposed ordinance before you, we'll include language in there, and then you'll have to tell us if that's sufficient and how you want us to do that.
So there's a,
Don't want to
Sorry.
go back to the stickers on the trash cans because people aren't there
We're not gonna do
and they never see the stickers.
Yeah.
that. No, we're not gonna do that.
Okay, great.
My concern is twofold. Number one, there will be a loss of revenue to the town if they have dumpsters. But if you take like condos that have 200 units, they're collecting
bless you.
a fee for garbage.
Correct.
If we get a dumpster, then there'd be a loss of revenue to the town.
Well, that's correct, but there'd also be a lot of loss of work. If we don't have to take up commercial, we don't have to buy those trucks. And I've got a $200,000 truck in the budget that I'm not buying now if we go to commercial elsewhere. But it's true, if you have a 200 unit condominium today, they're paying 200 times the residential rate, which is $24.70 with recycling. And it's cheaper for them to go to a dumpster or dumpsters and pay the monthly pickup fee. But it means our capital expense is far less than it would be if we continue to try to do that.
Well, but we don't know. I mean, we have nothing to weigh that against at this point.
Well, I know the numbers, certainly I know the numbers. I know exactly what that will be when a condominium of 200 units switches to dumpsters. You will set a dumpster per dumpster fee in the fee schedule. and we'll know how that offsets the residential rate that we're charging them now. It will be less income with less responsibility and work.
Would it also not be a benefit that the recycling centers, it would create it being a bottleneck?
The commercial?
Yes, sir.
Well, as you know, we talked last week, the forcing all the tonnage, or most of the tonnage to the convenience center is what's causing the problem.
Correct.
And if we can remove the commercial from going to the recycling center, we know what that tonnage is approximately, and we think that will make the convenience center work better.
Less pressure.
Yep.
And also, we talked about doing twice a week residential pickup, along with the bear-resistant bins. That's going to help solve some of the short-term rental issues that we have. I got 2 complaints today from short-term rentals for, garbage issues. So I think when we put it all together, it's a better solution. It's more cost-effective, and we plugged it into the model, and we know what the rates we're going to propose to you will be during this budget cycle. So you're correct. Some of the larger multifamily will pay less. That's correct.
I just don't know one weighs against the other. We don't have that number. Eventually, we'll probably get to see it.
Well, yes, I need to know first what Republic's contract costs are
Well,
going to be.
and I understand.
That's what I need. That's what I'm waiting on.
Great.
I've got our numbers.
So my problem is, or my concern is, number one, I have a problem with 5 years. I think we need to look at that. I think we have to have a penalty if they don't pick up. And I think there has to be a charge because you know what's going to, and I've already said this, you know what's going to happen if the Republic doesn't come up and pick the commercial trash. The Public Works is going to get a phone call and say, my trash has not been picked up, my dumpster's not been picked up. What time are you coming? So there has to be a set fee set up that if we have to go out and pick it up, somebody's got to pay for it.
So there's
No, I
no-
understand that. And Mayor, we need to all understand that if the town does not do the commercial, we can't pick up those dumpsters without those big trucks we talked about last week. So the only trash we can pick up, if we so choose to, will be the trash on the ground that's blocking the dumpster and it can't be picked up. But we won't, under this proposal, we won't have the equipment to pick up the dumpsters. That's the $720,000 that Daniel brought to us last week.
So we should, Chief, by rights, we'll have more information in regards to whether they have just a 5-year contract or they may have different kinds of contracts, less time, and penalty fees if they did not pick up. And/or for larger condo complexes, example, and I'm just using this loosely, the Pinnacle has 5. Can they look at the size of that and determine that they need 7 instead of 5? So we don't ever get a call that they haven't picked up and there's not enough room?
Well,
These
it's
are
a matter,
questions.
it's a matter of finances.
Right.
The Pinnacle could pay for as many dumpsters as they want.
Right,
They have 5, and in peak season, they need 6 or 7.
right.
And we manage that contract for them, and we do get extra dumpsters up there. Part of the problem at Pinnacle where they're not being picked up is overflow trash is placed in front of the dumpster.
I've seen that firsthand.
And the Republic driver doesn't get out of the truck and pick up bags of garbage. He goes in and grabs the dumpster and puts it up. So it's part of a learning process.
So we still need more information.
Well, we do, but we need to get moving. So that was the purpose of the meeting last week. That was the purpose of me giving you the report from the businesses. And unless I hear differently, we're going to proceed down that road to gather the contract information, get the prices locked in, and work in that direction. And that will all come together during the budget cycle. Town attorney and I are working on the proposed ordinance changes as well as the planner that you'll have to adopt to switch to commercial, as well as twice a week pickup, as well as bear-resistant bins on single-family rentals.
All right, I guess it'll all depend on the contract itself. I mean, if we can impose penalties, because I know there's some problem, people call Republic and, you know, waited, don't get called back, so they don't get the dumpsters in time, or whatever the case may be. It's good, you know, somewhere down the line, we're gonna end up, and again, it's the town that has the contract, so the people, or the businesses are not really gonna call Republic, they're gonna call us and say, they didn't come today, what are you gonna do about it? So you're gonna, or Public Works is gonna turn around and call Republic and say, well, why didn't you pick it up, or whatever the case may be. So it's gonna be like this.
No, you're correct, Mayor, and we would be the only town around that does it that way. The other towns that do residential pickup, they do not get into the commercial garbage business, and they let each business contract with the only provider in the area, Republic. They pay substantially more per month per dumpster when you do that. And we can certainly, you could certainly decide to do that and the town not be in the commercial trash business. That's what we talked about last week. For us to do it, we have to buy that capital, and we've got to just divide it by the number of dumpsters out there. And the cost is exorbitant, you know, $448 a month per unit as compared to $175. There wasn't one business person when we discussed service that wanted the town to do it at that cost. We can't do it well, we could probably, you know, there's some room to tweak, but we can't get it down anywhere near the 175. When you think about it, we would have to build a commercial garbage business with all the capital and all the people to do this with 50 accounts. And the numbers just don't work out.
I think where our convenience center is sitting right now, we need to try and do something with commercial. We're just at the point, even with just residential in there.
No, I don't disagree. I think we need to do some with commercial 100%. I'm just concerned is that we become the voice or the complaint department if Republic doesn't do their thing.
I think that's going to happen either way, whether the town covers it or Republic does. Not that I'm saying the town's not going to pick it up, but if there's a problem, either way, we're going to get the phone call.
Well,
That's just my.
that's true, but the mayor's correct. The contract, to get the best rate, the contract is with the town. And that means the town has to manage that contract, and when a business owner isn't happy with the service, they're going to call the town to manage that contract, and then the town is going to have to call Republic or whoever to mitigate that. That's not a pleasant thing to do.
So you said there's approximately 50 businesses on Beach Mountain. If that number goes down, then their expense is going to go up, correct?
Well, no. Let's assume for a moment we sign a 5-year contract, which is what Republic has asked. Then that contract is good for.
I'm sorry. I meant if the town did it. If the town got into the commercial trash business.
You have to divide, when you set your rates, you have to divide it by the number of customers.
Correct.
The fewer the customers, the higher the rate. That's our problem.
Right.
We're trying to get into the commercial garbage business with 50 customers.
And Chief, they will not pick up any trash outside their 8-yard bins?
They don't. And in fact, according to the Pinnacle, if they're mounted over the top, of course, these will have metal lids. The other ones, they have a plastic. If they're mounted, they don't. They have a set of rules that you have to pack your dumpster the way they say it needs to be packed, or they don't pick it up.
I tried calling them a couple times on my end. I never got a response back, so that's why if they can't even pick up the phone for a new customer, couldn't imagine how they're going to pick up the phone for a pre-existing customer.
Well, we manage the Pinnacle in the same way we're talking about now. Those 5 dumpsters are managed exactly as the mayor has said. The contract is with the town, and we manage that. And it's, depending on who you talk to, we talked to the manager of the Pinnacle, and they said for the most part they're happy, but there's issues about getting extra cans, and if there's garbage placed in front of the can that it can't be picked up, they don't pick it up. We have problems managing those 5 for Republic. You know, I don't want to tell you that this is the solution. I don't know, other than the town getting out of the commercial business and letting each business do their own thing. I don't know what the other option is right now.
And you mentioned each managing their own thing is more expensive than moving through the town and banding all the businesses together into one contract.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. The one business that has Republic now, and he said he's extremely happy with the service, pays about $125 a month more per month for the same unit.
Okay.
Let's see if we're having problems, like you just said, with 4 or 5 units. We're gonna have problems with 45.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know what the option is at this point.
Well, have we thought about continuing, how we do trash pickup with I know you guys aren't a big fan of the backloading trucks. That's already set in the budget to buy one, and we buy a cable truck, and we continue to do trash. I don't see either option, us spending $700,000 for new trucks that are front end loading or going with Republic. I just don't see the light through the tunnel on that.
Well, we'll certainly do whatever the council wants us to do.
I mean, has anyone thought of that option? That is like the third option.
Say again?
To maintain what we're doing
Continue
now.
what we're doing. I believe in the budget, there's money set aside to buy
The garbage truck.
a garbage truck that we have been using for a long time. I
Well-
understand they're not safe at all. And safety is obviously the number one thing for this council and the employees, but they have to be somewhat safe or they wouldn't be selling them.
Where do you think we would be with personnel if we decided to go down Jimmy's option? Would we have to hire more personnel based on the increase in the amount of tourism and business that we have up here?
I gave you the 4th option last week,
Yeah.
which was continue the same system, and I think it was $120,000 to do the twice a week pickup and
Right.
continue with the same program. The open dumpsters
Right.
don't work.
I was just wondering personnel-wise, if we end up, based on public works employees that we have right now doing trash, if we decide to stay in the trash business and buy the extra truck, do we have to hire more employees to man the extra truck? Is that an additional cost that could come up with that?
Well, it's a the one truck that's in the budget now is a replacement truck.
Okay.
So it's not an additional truck, it's a replacement truck. It continues to be the rear load container.
Well, we can increase the budget and get the right one with the one we can pick it up in front.
Front end
But
loading.
then we have to get all new
And
cans.
then I have to buy, it's $720,000 to do that there.
Well, that's 2 trucks.
If I have one and it doesn't run today, what do I do when the business calls?
Gotta have a backup.
Yeah,
You gotta
it's
go
a
back.
holiday, I get that.
I think Beach Mountain needs to get out of the commercial trash business and pursue the contract with Republic Services and see how it works out.
Yeah, I'd be comfortable if we had an exit.
Yeah,
clause.
I'd like to see
An
a
exit clause in there.
probation period, 6 to 8 months or 12 months. I mean, something to where we're not held hostage if
If it
it
doesn't
doesn't
work
work
out.
out.
The penalty number 1, if we can get an exit clause number 2.
I agree.
But-
5 years is a
All
long
right, so
time.
we fast forward, what do we do with all our dumpsters at these commercial businesses? Where are we storing them? Where do we put these
Exactly.
trucks?
If we're in the business, that's right.
And Chief, you might know better than me, I don't know, where would you store all that?
Well, the existing ones,
Yeah, so we try Republic out, see how it goes. It goes south, we're back in the trash business. I know you hate to hear that, I know.
well, the plan was we were going to surplus out the equipment in the dumpsters. We were going to keep enough for backup in the recycling center. I think I shared that with you. And we would offer that to the businesses that had, you know, we pick them up and store them for a short period of time and try to get rid of them. If it was a 1 year, you know, trial, we could cover that.
Yes, sir.
Now, I haven't discussed any of that with the public, so I don't know, you know,
Yeah.
they're not, you know, your local waste hauler. They're a pretty big organization, and,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure negotiating a contract was outside their norms would be easy. But you know, we're going to reach out to them and see what we can do.
Plus we have the land off the beach, off the Buckeye Lake Road that we just cleared.
Right. Well, we can.
We find a place to store them. if we
Yes.
have to.
The idea was to surplus them out, but we can keep them for maybe up to a year.
Yes, sir.
So I'm really not, I wasn't asking you for, you know, make a decision. I just want to give you an update from last week. We're proceeding, talked to the town attorney on the ordinance. We're working to get a contract from Republic, and we're going forward with the twice a week pickup for residential.
Just one other thing, have you got any of the contracts from the other towns?
No, I've asked for them.
I know
Yeah.
you haven't received
I
that.
haven't seen them. The homeowner construction debris program, last Sunday, the 28th of February, was our first Sunday of the month that we did that. We had about 5 cubic yards collected. I sent a letter out in the water bill, and it kind of didn't give them enough notice. So we're putting that schedule on the website. I've given the clerk a little blurb to put on the website, so I think that's going to pick up as we go forward. And it you know, it wasn't empty, so obviously someone was using it, and we hauled it out on the next Monday, so that went well. All right, on garbage. The state revolving loan for water and sewer project. Most of you got a call from a reporter wanting to know about the grant for the water and sewer program. I got that straightened out, but what you need to know is our next water and sewer program, we applied in state for a low interest loan to the state revolving fund. And we got approved for the sewer, and we got disapproved for the water. And so I can't really do the project unless you want me to dig up the road every year. You know, dig up the road for the sewer and then come back a year later and dig up the road for the water. So we reached out to the state to see what we could do. They recommended that we ask for an extension on the sewer loan for 6 months and reapply for the water, which is what we're doing. But it's going to set that project back at least 6 months, and if we don't get approved, it could set it back even longer, and it could jeopardize the sewer loan. So Steve and I met today, and what we're going to do is exactly what I told you. We're going to ask for an extension. We're going to reapply to the state on the water side, but we're also going to reach out for some private bank funding. The difference in the bank fund is about 2% on a $3 million loan over 20 years. But not to give up on the sewer loan. If we get turned down again on the water side, we'll have something ready to go where we can fund the water project to do them both together. So we'll have the engineer continue, but I did want to let you know that the water side did not get funded, and it was due to lack of available funds on the state. They ran out of money before they got to us, and actually we were the next one on the list.
I have one question on that.
Yep.
If we go on the outside source to fund it, so we can start it in June rather than 90 days from there, if we get approved the loan for water in September, can we use that money to pay off the loan?
Probably not, but I'll check specifically for that.
Because we can start now, get the money from the state, pay it off, and we're back to square one.
Well, we're kind of doing that. Contract is in the plan in the both water and sewer. The contract wasn't to be let until the winter of '22. So engineering has to occur, and we've got reports to the state due July 1st. we're going to do that as if we got approved for the water and sewer. When we get to September, if we don't get the water, the second round on the water, then I'll come to you and ask you if you want to do a bank loan for the water to run in conjunction with the sewer. It won't change the construction schedule, it'll change the financing schedule. And however, the money that we spend between now and September on engineering for the water may not be reimbursable in the SRF loan if we get it. We could certainly use the bank loan to pay for that. But we think that's the best way to keep it on track, is run it as if we got approved with the engineering that has to be done anyways. And then if we get disapproved, we can go to private funding, which will cost about 2% extra.
So there's no plan of doing construction in 2021?
No, not digging up in 2021. It would be 2022, 2023, actually. The schedule from the state has us letting contract in 2022.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. You've got a map here with a yellow thing on it. Let me see if I can find it here. If I can put it on the screen for people at home. These 6 lots are in the Eagles Nest subdivision, and they're also within the town of Beech Mountain corporate limits. And these homeowners have petitioned the state legislature, Representative Dudley Green's office, to de-annex from the town. They don't have access to town services. They don't have access to town roads. If this is a flat picture, but if you will, the elevation from the blue line, which is the town limits, down to Buckeye Creek Road is very steep. So, and there are actually houses there on those properties, and they're on roads that are in Eagles Nest. Mr. Green's office has asked that the town weigh in, yea or nay, on this de-annexation, although the way de-annexation works, it doesn't require our approval. They can petition for a local bill, and it's solely within the state legislature's authority to de-annex. So we looked at it. I had Preston look at it. We sent letters to these 6 people to see, in fact, if they wish to be de-annexed from the town. I believe that they do, but we've only been speaking to 2 people in Mr. Green's office. So those letters went out yesterday, and we haven't received them back. What I wanted to do is let you know this was occurring, and in April, we'll bring a resolution to you to either support or not support this de-annexation request per Representative Green's office.
Is there any tax base in that?
There is. This is probably about $10,000 of property taxes annually to the town. So I didn't know if you had any questions on that. I wanted you to be aware of it. We'll have it on your agenda in April for a yea or nay anyways, as we get moving along with it.
What brought this about to be de-annexed?
2 property owners got their tax bills and determined that they were paying Beech Mountain taxes and they had no access or services from Beech Mountain. This isn't the first time this has occurred, as I'm told. We had some properties that were in the town on the backside towards the Fall Creek area, Seminole Trail, and that was de-annexed a number of years ago for the same reason. The town couldn't reach them. So what brought it about was 2 property owners got their tax bill.
Now, if we don't approve it, they have to wait for the state.
No, the state, we don't get to approve or deny. Representative Dudley Green's office wants your opinion, but the law is such, and the town attorney can help me out here, the law is such that it's solely within the purview of the state legislature, and the process is that Representative Green would propose a local bill, a de-annexation bill, and it would pass the state legislature and they would be de-annexed from the town.
How long will it take them to do that?
It's an act of the General Assembly. It would be a local bill, so it does not require the governor's involvement, but it does require both the North Carolina House and the North Carolina Senate to approve any such bill. Typically, the members of the General Assembly defer to the local delegation as to whether to approve or deny a local bill. Statutorily, we have procedures where we can annex property or add to it, but the General Assembly is the only remedy that folks have for a de-annexation. So that's why they filed, or why they're going that direction. Certainly, however, the town's within its rights to weigh in on whether you would support or oppose losing property from within the town.
The question is, could it take 2 years for a bill like that to pass?
Well, it would have to be dealt with in the session of the General Assembly while they're in session. So it's essentially, they're in session now. Whenever they adjourn for the end of the session, that would be the end of the local bill, if you will. But it could certainly be brought back up at another session.
It could reoccurring.
It's essentially a legislative action,
Right.
is what they're asking for.
Just a knee-jerk reaction on this, but if they're being taxed and they're not benefiting off the town services, it doesn't sound like it's good business for Beach Mountain.
And as to town services, there are a number of services that the town does provide. It may not be that they're receiving trash service or things such as that, but I would suspect they may very well be within our fire district or our police department jurisdiction. And there are other services, even though they are within the Eagles Nest community, that could be considered.
And their taxes are proportionate to the amount of land based on where the property is. Like it looks like a little slither of land, so it's proportion between counties, right? Or are they just paying all Beach Mountain because part of their land is within Beach Mountain?
Well, all of their land is within Avery County, so they
Okay.
pay Avery County taxes. And all of their land is in the town of Beach Mountain, so they pay Beach Mountain taxes as well.
Okay.
They're asking to be de-annexed from the town. Their taxable, what they pay in taxes is based on their valuation, their taxable valuation of not only the property, but the homes that they built.
Okay.
My question is this going to set like a precedent and create like a bandwagon for all these property owners?
Well, that I can't answer you. There was more properties that were listed on the request, and the town planner and I looked at that, and we were able to justify access to the town where the town could provide services, and in fact does. These 6 properties, we do not provide police or fire protection. We literally can't get there from here without going out and around through someone else's town or fire district.
Gotcha.
Are there homes on these properties?
Yes, sir.
And they're all in Eagles Nest?
Yes, sir.
And so, are we the backup for Eagles Nest for fire?
Yes, we are.
And they don't,
Sometimes we're the first arrival.
I understand. They don't pay us anything.
They do not. They pay Avery County fire taxes,
Right.
which is what that system funds.
I mean, you have to remember when these people bought these lots, they knew they were buying in the county, and obviously in the town of Beach Mountain, so.
Well, I mean, I think I'd let them, personally, let them go through the state.
Well, they are. They've petitioned, this request to this body has come from the state representative's office. These property owners have petitioned Representative Green's office to de-annex, and they understand that that's where the decision is made. It's the representative that asked for your opinion.
Yes, sir.
It wasn't the property owner.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be on the April agenda?
I'll bring a resolution to you based on whatever you want to do, yes or no.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you.
They knew what they bought.
I'm a no. If we provide backup services,
Yeah.
We're already providing services over there. I'm kind of a no as well.
Yeah.
We will prepare a resolution shows the pleasure of the council is not to support the de-annexation.
Sure.
Would you do that for me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, EMS update. That was one of your priorities in the budget. We've been working that as best we can. If you recall, we gave you three options. One was to increase the Avery County service to benefit all of Avery County as well as Beach Mountain. We then said we could go to Watauga and contract for services there. And the last option was for the town to do it on its own in increasing cost. So little progress from Avery County. We've made the offer multiple times to sit down and talk with them about increasing their system for the benefit of all of the county in and around Beach Mountain. It's been met with what I call resistance, and we're still working on that proposal. I don't know how that's going to flesh out. We've also worked with the county, Watauga County manager and his vendor, and they're working up a proposal to bring to you for the option number 2. I have not done anything on option number 3 because I don't believe that's cost effective, but if options 1 and 2 fall through, we'll come up with the plan C. But I did want to give you an update on that progress, and in case you talk to either one of the county managers and they brought it to your attention, you'll know what they're talking about. The new town website is expected to go live by the end of the month. Final edits are currently underway. I talked with Sean yesterday about that. We're having some difficulty getting the vendor to be responsive, but he believes the final edits are in works and we'll have that together. The public works project's going well. Our site work is beginning to move now that the weather has improved. Interior work has been going well and is close to completion. I would say that if you're interested, go on over there and walk through. If I'm available, or Riley Hatch, we can give you a tour. Take a look. It's an impressive facility, and a lot of work is being done during the winter inside. Now we're beginning to move outside to do some of the final earthwork.
Chief, I had a question.
Okay.
What's the stoplight for? Is it a little stoplight on the last bay?
That's for the car wash.
That's the car wash, so that we don't drive in or out when we're not supposed to.
I have
We'll see if it works.
I have 3 questions because I walked through it today.
Uh-huh.
Number 1, we have the heating elements up top.
Yes, sir.
Has anybody thought about splash hitting those elements?
In the wash bay?
Yeah. It's pretty high. The wash and the sprayers are pretty high. Now, if they hit a big truck, how much of that is going to go into those elements?
Well, substantially. I mean, that wash bay, I think, will be like your bathroom after a long hot shower, particularly in the wintertime. It's going to be full of moisture. There are 2 exhaust fans that were added to that bay. The heaters are radiant heaters. They can get wet. The burner is inside the radiant tube, but I don't have an answer for you on that.
That's number 1. Number 2, the loft. There's a lot of empty space up there. Have we thought about utilizing some of that space for storage or for whatever?
Well, that is storage. That was designed to be storage above the office building.
Correct, because we've got, we got all the ACs and heaters going through there, but there's an awful lot of space, open space in there.
That floor is being treated with some deck paint or something, but that's going to be storage, and that's what it's designed to be. The roof of the ceiling of the office building was built to hold a higher per square foot weight so that we can store up there.
Okay, and under the stairs, there's 2 offices right under the stairs. There's a door. What are those offices for?
One's a part storage, right?
On the right-hand side, not under the store, under the.
When you come down the stairs, there's a
The
door.
first one is the washer, dryer, laundry room, uniforms,
Okay.
that. And then going into that next room from there is gonna be the supply for the plumbing supplies. It'll be a locked up room for
Water department.
plumbing supplies. They're small,
Meters.
meters, you know, fittings and all that sort of thing.
And the other thing I have is where you come in the entrance, remember you were talking about, they put fluorescent or those longer tubes in the hallway, but where Wendy's gonna sit, they still have those spotlights.
Yeah, we didn't change those. That was what was originally designed. The reason we changed to the 2x2 fluorescents was because of the sprinkler system we had to have been moved. And I didn't want to pay the difference to do that, so we changed from the can lights to the 2x2s.
Correct.
The rest of the offices where it didn't conflict, we went with the plan.
I just was wondering for her working, because it's limited in scope, you know,
Yeah.
shining down.
Yeah.
It's just something to think about.
Well, Mayor, there's probably a lot of things that I would have changed that I didn't have the opportunity to. I'm trying to balance the change in cost and the change in, we had to change the lights in the hallway because of the sprinkler system. That was not laid out correctly or thought of. We didn't have to change them elsewhere, so I left it the way the plans were. We can go back and take a look at that and see if the lighting is sufficient. We'll do that tomorrow.
Because the hallway and everything is it's very bright.
Yeah.
It's real great. And then when I walk to where she's gonna be sitting, we have those kind of spotlights. I just think for her working,
Okay.
it may be worth.
Well, the other problem is, most people don't want them that bright because of their computer screens. So they go the other way, and they may, if I'm not mistaken, those are on or dimmer, they may not be turned up all the way.
Well, they weren't on anyway. I just noticed them.
I'll look at that.
Just look at it.
I'll look at that tomorrow.
Just to see if it makes any sense or not. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right, the next one I want to show you is the Bart Park bathroom. And that's the big plan I gave you. I'm not requesting this because I know you just saw it today of an approval, but here's the plan. I have a TDA meeting tomorrow. And the TDA is, I'm asking them to partner with us and fund this project. And so before I take it to the TDA, I wanted the town council to see what the proposal was. John Merritt designed it. It was, Parks and Rec has looked at it. And this will be a combination building for Bart Park bathrooms, Sledding Hill bathrooms, a storage room, put sound equipment and things of that nature, and a ticket booth that I asked what are we going to sell tickets for, and what they're planning on in the future, if we have summer events over there, that they need, they call it a ticket booth, I call it more of an activity room. But that's the plan. If you don't have any heartburn with it, I'd like to take it to the TDA tomorrow and see what they think. I will be asking them to fund this project, and this is one of the priorities that they had, as well as you up at the Bart Park.
Where's the, site location at the dog park?
You know where the hill is?
Yeah.
In the parking lot for the Bart Park?
Yes, sir.
There's a strip of land that runs parallel to the pavement
Okay.
and the hill. It fits right in there.
Okay.
So you don't need to make a decision today. Look at it and give me a holler if you absolutely don't like it. Because I would like the TDA to look at it tomorrow.
I'm assuming this is like twice the size of the one we did down at Coffee.
Small.
No, Lake Coffee. This is
Lake Coffee.
this is bigger than Lake Coffee.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 600. This is 600 square feet, I believe.
Yeah.
And so I calculated it at about $200 a square foot. So I'll be asking the TDA to consider $120,000 tomorrow for this.
Well, it's definitely needed if we have our second sliding hill and the bar park and the playground eventually, so it's,
And that's another thing. Are we planning on just making sure we're planning ahead accordingly? Like if Could you do a playground that's not all merged together?
The playground is what I got next on the thing for you. Well, this hut, this bathroom needs to be so it can service the parking area.
Right.
And the playground would be off, more towards the Mark Park as it would be by the bathroom.
It's on the other side, right?
It is.
Yeah, right.
So it's the hill,
It's the
as you pull in, it's the hill, this bathroom, the parking lot, the Mark Park.
With long-term growth on Beach Mountain, is putting this facility at the location that you're suggesting, is that, are we maximizing our land use with this?
Well, I think if you want to put a facility up there, this is the place to put it. We own the land. The Bark Park seems to be very, advantageous. The community likes it. It's going to be there. I have to put a porta potty up there, and that's not a good thing. So if the town council wants bathroom up there, I think this single building that does multiple uses is the way to go. It maximizes our footprint. We get the most use out of the smallest footprint. And I think that area of the town, and you told me that's where you want to have more activities, and that's what we're trying to provide. So yes, Councilman, I think it does maximize.
My only thought process is on the ticket booth, because most of our events are down at the bottom of the meadows or in front of Town Hall, so I don't know. I'm just thinking if people trying to walk all the way up there to buy a ticket to come all the way back down to.
Not sure what they're going to buy a ticket for.
And that's what I was wondering.
And I'm not sure why that space was called the ticket booth. I think they were brainstorming. It's part of the box. And we do need storage, and we do need some way to have some use out of the building. I'm not sure what tickets will sell.
Okay.
But if we do turn into something up there, this would be the focal point of that piece of property. Now, remember, we don't own the property below this, we lease it, and we don't own property to the south of this, where the long-term parking is for the overflow parking for the resort is.
And all the water and sewer hookups are pretty easy from
Yes.
where this
yes.
is situated.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got a sewer line right there and water, we just ran it for the sledding.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is your little packet from the Parks and Rec Director. Let me find it here on my. So, I'm also taking this to the TDA tomorrow, and if you would just focus on the picture of the playground. You had said a playground is your priority in the budget. Up in this area, so I asked the Parks and Rec Director to go out and solicit some design and some quotes. And this design is what's come back, and I shared it with our two champions, the two councilwomen, Malang and Gagne. And now I want the council to look at it before, again, I take it to TDA tomorrow, and ask them to partner with us on this playground. This would be up by the Bark Park, closer to the Bark Park than the bathroom, and it would be similar to this proposal. This was quoted today at $84,006.91. We had asked to keep it within the budget of $80,000. So if this is something that you don't have a lot of heartburn on, I think it meets the criteria of your prioritization. And we'll ask the TDA to find it tomorrow.
There again, I just want to know exactly the site, if it's going to look aesthetically good, if it's going to be easy for people to get to.
So it'll be part of the Bark Park. The parking will remain the same.
Yeah.
This will be
So you have
towards the park. It'll be on the opposite side of where this bathroom facility would be. It would be over
towards the pinnacle,
Yes, it would be part of the Bark Park.
kind of where the old, how we shrunk the dog, or somebody shrunk the dog park.
In the grassy
Yeah, the
area
older
that
part.
would be outside the fence. to the left of the walking path towards the pinnacle.
Yes.
Okay. Never mind.
I didn't know we shrunk.
Yeah, I think because of the public
Well, we
works.
had to do-
It got cut in half.
When we had to do the public works building, we had to move the fence. I think,
They
Quite a
lost,
bit.
yeah, lost some shade and lost some rocking.
what, 5 feet or something?
No,
I
no,
don't remember
in the big,
exactly.
in the big
It was
one.
But it was the
Jack
back,
was, it was,
but it was the back part
right,
That we
in
had-
that corner.
that we had to move.
Okay.
This will be on the other side of the public side of the park.
That's the penalty if they want to help pay.
Is there going to be a sidewalk, or is that just in the picture for aesthetics?
That's in the picture. There is a sidewalk.
Yeah, there is.
There's already one there, isn't there?
Yeah. It'll be, obviously there'll be access, but this is a conceptual picture. Okay, good news, the employee health insurance. I was notified yesterday from the league that for the next budget year, there will be no increase in premium. You may recall that we were a little nervous last year that, we get a low ball figure, and then the next year they hit you pretty hard. So we got in writing that there's no increase on employee health care. And one of the reasons was that our medical loss ratio has been low. We just cleared February with 51.9% medical loss ratio, and that's very good. And so a combination of you selected a good plan, it's got a wellness component, and the employees are doing their part to minimize the cost to it. So I think for the first time that I can remember being here, we've got a 0% increase in our medical insurance for employees. So we'll be bringing that to you in the budget, and I wanted to let you know about it. You've got a flyer at your desk from the town's 40th birthday party. It's the colorful one, Easter colors. It's a save the date flyer for May 1st at Buckeye Rec Center. There's a lot of great events that have been scheduled, and more is coming for that event. You received an invitation from Sandy Carr today, asking you to put it on your calendar and be part of that event. We've got local vendors coming out for food. We've got art show. We've got a carver that's going to be there. If the weather's good, we're going to have a great time. It'll be outside for the most part, and we'll celebrate a good 40th birthday on May 1st. So that flyer is on your desk. And Mayor and Council, that's all I have.
Hey, you were short today.
That was short. Kelly, comment?
Yes, I do have a comment. The resort did a Runs for Buns for colon cancer benefit that the community was part of. And I just wanted to announce they raised $33,821.
That's great.
So that was a great job by the community as well as the resort. We do have a community cleanup day coming March 20th, a second one March 2nd. So you can call or email Kate Crisco at Buckeye Rec, and she'll assign you a street to help clean up the community.
You mean April 2nd?
And
said-
March and May.
You said March 2nd?
Yes, but you said
Oh,
March
did I
2nd.
say, okay.
So-
March 20th and May 2nd.
Okay.
And then last is Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Okay. Mr. Abernathy?
Just a question on the signs that are going, the 2 new signs that TDA is purchasing at 321 in Buckeye. Will there be any lights on the sign?
We did not propose lighting.
Okay. Just curious. I mean,
Yeah, we could look at solar lighting.
you can do that fairly inexpensive.
Well, it's a combination of power is not there,
Right.
and we're in a DOT right away, and there's regulations that we need to comply with, and lighting is an issue.
Pretty dark back there.
It is.
So, but other than that, I don't have any questions or statements.
Mr. O'Keefe?
Yes, sir. I want to thank Sandy Carr and Kevin for putting out all the nice little 40th signs. I thought that was really nice. I know it was hard work. And anyone else who I'm not aware of who's helping with this 40th. save the date and birthday party, you know, express my gratitude. And then for the Meridian family, just extremely grateful, and just speaks volume of why they would do that, and just extremely gracious. And I know the capital will go to good things for this community. If there's any family, just express our gratitude. Yes, sir.
I would have to agree with Jimmy and everybody in regards to the Meridian family. We probably needed to have that at the end of the meeting, because that absolutely just took me out. I was in tears and extremely moved by that gesture of gratitude, because I know that the money will be well used and for a great purpose. And it's just, like I said, it speaks volumes of that family and how much beach really meant to them. I'm really excited about the playground. That's a great playground sketch. Everything looks completely safe. I ought to know, I'm an expert on that, and I've sat on many legal court cases with a phys ed background for many, many years, and that is something that would be used year-round with the Bart Park. And I'd like to thank Mr. Merritt for the design of our, Mr. Merrill, for the design of our potential bathroom up there, because I think that will be well used year-round as well. We're growing, but these are things that are cautious and needed, and will be certainly appreciated by our new members and our new families that are coming up to beach, and our visitors. Couldn't come at a better time. Again, I'd like to thank Sandy Carr and anyone that's been working on our 40th. The signs are really neat, and they're everywhere. I don't know, how many signs did they do? Do we know? Do we have a number?
I want to say 40.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere, and they're very unique.
They keep popping up.
They keep popping up, but they do take a lot of work. And so this is going to be a big deal. I just remember Sandy talking to us about it, how excited she was, and we all should be excited. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great day. And that's all I have.
Okay, I really don't have much. I've said plenty to the meeting. This will be an exciting day on May 1st, and make sure everybody's got it on their calendar. I think we need a full participation, and I think it'd be great. That's all I have. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The motion passed. We are adjourned. Easy, Rob.